Lads and Lassies, and welcome back to my channel. As I'm Mr. Mayhem. Today we'll be going over everything I watched in the month of October 2023. Now, this, I believe, this is my 1 year anniversary. I've been on YouTube for a year now by the time this video goes out. So that's awesome. Thank you for the support over the last year. We seem to be growing quite steadily, which is awesome, but yeah. So before we get into this, if you do enjoy this, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe for more. You can support me on Patreon, follow me on Instagram for links in the description. And let's get started. So on the first, I rewatched The Flash for the first time since the cinema, and I liked it a little bit more. I still don't love it. There's fun elements in it, but there's just so much missed potential with it. I think I talked about it more in my What I Watched in June video, but it's a 2.5 now, not a 2. Then on the same day, I rewatched The Exorcist for the again. I saw the remaster in cinemas, which was awesome. And then I bought the 4K and watched the 4K with my girlfriend, and really enjoyed it. The remaster, I think, looks gorgeous. There's a lot of shots that look kind of, what's the word, blurry? Well, not a lot. There's more of it looks crisp than before, but it still looks good. And that's a 4. Then I rewatched Mary Poppins Returns for the first time since cinemas. It's a bit, I find it a bit boring. It's a 2.5. The 4K was awful. There was no HDR. Well, there was, but it didn't pop at all. Not very good. Then after that, I rewatched The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, which I really enjoyed. I've grown a lot. I mean, to be fair, I've always liked that film. It's a 3-star. I've always liked that film, so it was quite nice to watch it again. And the 4K looks decent. Then I watched Fast and Furious, the 4th one, and I'll just say I enjoy this one. It's a 3-star. Then on the 2nd, I rewatched The Creator in 40X, which was, the 40X wasn't great, but I do really like The Creator. A little bit less now. I have it rated a 5 here, but if I were to rate it now, it'd be a 4.5, I think. Then I rewatched Saw X for the 3rd time on the same day. I had a cinema day that day. And then I rewatched Saw X for the 3rd time in 40X. Again, the 40X isn't that great for it, but I really love Saw X. It's a 5. Then on the 2nd, I probably should have mentioned, I did a thing that I did a couple of years ago. It's called Spooktober, where you watch one horror film a day for the whole month. So Exorcist was my one for the 1st. Saw X was my one for the 2nd. Then after I rewatched Saw X, I watched The Old Oak, which is Ken Loach's new film, or final film apparently. I've not seen any of his other films. Fucking hell, I'll just say that. But I really did enjoy The Old Oak. Fantastic performances across the board. Quite a sweet story. 4 stars. Then I went to the unlimited screening of Blackberry, which I know America's had it for ages, but I went to the unlimited screening of that, and I loved it. It was hilarious. So interesting, so funny. If you've not seen Blackberry, I highly recommend you do. That's a 5. Then on the 3rd, my Spooktober film was Prince of Darkness. I found it a bit boring. The 4K looks really good, but Then on the 4th, I watched Ghostwatch for the first time, and let me tell you, I can see why there was such a uproar when this aired on the BBC, because it is quite dark. It is quite disturbing. I loved it. It's a 4.5, and the 101 Films Blu-ray looks great. Then I rewatched Your Next for the first time in ages, and didn't like it as much as I remember liking it. It's good, I just don't love it. So it's a 3, and I gave did I say I gave Ghostwatch 4.5? Then I watched the Apple TV miniseries Hijack, which was good. Very good. Idris Elba, really good miniseries, great. I just enjoyed it. It was good. If you haven't checked it out before, I would recommend it. Then on the 5th, my Spooktober film was the producer's cut of The Curse of Michael Myers, which I enjoyed a lot more than the theatrical, because it's way more cohesive, and they actually commit to the Cult of Thorns stuff, which I did enjoy, because I imported the 4K set, as you will have seen in my pickup video, and all of those films look gorgeous in 4K. Then right out, I don't love it, but it is better, and I can see myself liking it more in the future. I give it a 2.5. Then I rewatched the theatrical cut just to see what the differences were, and my God, it's a 1 star. It's awful. Great 4K, but it's awful. Then on the 6th, my Spooktober film was Friday the 13th, the remake. The only good one in my opinion. I don't enjoy any of them apart from 6 and Jason X. Yeah, come at me, but I just find most of the Friday the 13th films just utterly boring. And I think 100% this is the scariest Jason you get, in my opinion. But 4.5. Then I saw X again for a 4th time with Callum, and he really liked it as well, which is good. A 5 again. And then I rewatched Godzilla 2014 for the first time in like a year or two, and I still love that film. It's a 5. I think what Gareth Edwards does with the scale of that is incredible. I really enjoy the humans in that film. I think it is just perfection. And then on the 7th, I rewatched Kong Skull Island. It's good. I enjoy it for what it is, but I don't think it's great. It's a 3.5. Then I rewatched Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is very long, and the fights are great, but there's something about it. It's a bit too long. I don't mind the human stuff, but it is a bit too long. Then and then after that, my Spooktober film for that day was Halloween H2O, which I enjoyed quite a lot. I think it's a very good definitive end for the time, and I think they should have stuck with it, but I am glad that they didn't, because we got the remakes and the David Gordon Green trilogy, because I do enjoy the David Gordon Green trilogy now. Well, 2 out of the 3 I love, but... Then I rewatched Rise of the Beast, Transformers, for the first time since cinemas, and found it quite boring, if I'm honest. Even the fight, it's just a very safe movie. And when I first saw it, I liked it a lot, but now it's just a bit boring. The 4K looks decent, but that's a 3. Oh, so was H2O. H2O was a 3 as well, and so was King of the Monsters was a 3.5. Then I rewatched the best film ever made, La La Crocodile, for the 1-year anniversary with Callum. Fantastic. It's a warm blanket of a film. It's just quite comforting, and I think the songs slap. It's a 4. Then Callum showed me Clue for the first time, and I really enjoyed that. It was so hyperactive, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I thought it was quite funny. That's a 4. Then on the 8th, I saw The Princess and the Frog for the first time, and I got to see it for the first time in cinemas, and I really, really liked it. I thought it was really good. That's a 4. Then I saw what is possibly the worst film of the year so far, and I don't know if it's going to be beaten, and that is The Exorcist Believer. This film is a steaming pile of dog shit. I'm pretty sure that's not, an unpopular opinion, but it's awful. It's pointless. It's not scary. It's stupid. It's just awful. I give it a 1. It's not the last you'll be hearing about this. Then I rewatched Saw X for the 5th time. Still love it. 5 stars. Then I rewatched Blackberry again. I still love it. 5 stars. Then on the 9th... Believer was my Spooktober film for that day. Then on the 9th, I rewatched Overlord for that Spooktober day, and that's just a hidden gem. If you've not seen Overlord, I highly recommend it. It's quite good. It's a 4. Then Callum heard... I went on to him how bad it was, and he was really curious. So he was like, do you want to see it again? I was like, do you know what? It would probably be quite funny if we did. So we went and saw it, and I came out of it hating it even more. It's 0.5 star. It is the worst film I've seen this year, bar none. I'd rather watch Haunted Mansion. But anyway, 0.5 star. And then on the 10th, I watched The Haunting of Bly Manor, which was incredible. Really, really heartfelt stuff. Really sad. It's good. If you've not seen Bly Manor or any of Flanagan's shows, Mike Flanagan, I highly recommend it. It's very good. It's a 4.5. That was my Spooktober for that day. Then on the 11th, I rewatched Halloween Resurrection. That film's bad, but I get some enjoyment out of it. It's a 1.5. And then on the 12th, I rewatched the first Terrifier. I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of this film, really. It is like it's a good blueprint for what the second one is, but I just did not enjoy it that much. It's a 2, and even then that's a stretch for me, but it has gone down because it was a 2.5 before. Then on the 13th, my Spooktober was Halloween, the remake, Rob Zombie. I really enjoy this film. I love how brutal it can be, and I like I just like it. I mean, I don't like the white trash dialogue from the start and everything, but I do enjoy it. It's a 3. Then I saw the Taylor Swift Eras Tour concert. I love Taylor Swift, if you didn't know. I know I brandish heavy metal stuff and just metal stuff, but then, I've always loved Taylor Swift. And the Eras Tour was awesome. The Eras Tour concert was awesome because I wanted to get tickets to see her live, but it was just way too expensive. So that's a 5, definitely. And then on the 14th, I watched the Miss Americana documentary because I was on a bit of a kick there. Really enjoyed that as well. It was quite an interesting look into how she came back from 1989 to Reputation, and it was good. It's a 5 for me because I just love it. I'm a slut for that kind of stuff. So it's. Then on the 14th, I watched The Fall, The House of Usher, Mike Flanagan's new show, and it took me a couple of days to let it sink in, but I think it is another, just slapper of a show. It just... I'm not going to say anything, but watch it. 4.5. That was my Spooktober for that day. And then Callum showed me The Lady Killers, which was quite funny and quite... Yeah, it was good. 3.5. Then on the 15th, I rewatched Frozen in the cinema and really enjoyed it, actually. I feel like after the annoyance of the song of Let It Go and everything being played over and over again, that I actually really enjoyed it. It's a 3.5. Then I also rewatched Frozen 2, which I don't like as much. I don't really think any of the songs slap that much. The animation looks good, but apart from that, but it's a 3 because it's special to me, but I won't say why. Because I want to keep that for myself. Then my Spooktober for that day was Frankenstein's Army, which I'd watched the month previous. Great hidden gem of a found footage horror film. If you love practical effects and monsters, watch that. That's a 4. Then I rewatched Godzilla vs. Kong for the first time in 2 years, and I love this film. I think the fights are incredible. I don't mind the humans, but honestly, the fights alone, for me, are a 5, and I give it a 5. Then on the 16th, my Spooktober was VHS 85, and I'll be quite honest with you, it's the worst VHS one I've seen. I've not seen VHS Viral, or VHS, what was the one first, 90, 96, 95, 90, 98, maybe? I don't know, but I haven't seen that one. 2.5. There was a couple segments that went some places, but I just, a lot of them I didn't enjoy. 2.5. And then after that, I rewatched Scooby-Doo, the live action from 2002 for the first time in years, and I still love that film. I think it fucking slaps. It is, yeah, really enjoy that. That's a 4.5. And then on the 17th, my Spooktober was Host. I rewatched that. Really, really good, short, effective horror film. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out. It's a 3.5. Then I had another movie day where I saw Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie, which, be quite honest with you, if I was that age, I would eat that shit up. I can see why kids love it. And I enjoyed it for what it was. It's not great, but it's good for, kids. It's a 2.5. Then I rewatched Saw X for the 6th and final time in the cinema, because the times have been reduced drastically now, and I still love it. It's a 5. Then I watched The Miracle Club, which I found extremely boring. To be quite honest, it felt like it started in one place and then just came right back to the same place again. It felt like it didn't go anywhere. 2. Performances were pretty good. That's what kept it going. Then I saw The Great Escaper, which was a 3.5. If that's Michael Caine's last role, hell of a way to go out. Slapping movie. Very good. 3.5. Then I saw Boys in the Hood. There was a re-release. I'd never seen it before, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. Fantastic performances from Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., Lawrence Fishburne, just fantastic. 4 stars. Then on the 18th, I rewatched Lake Mungo. That was my Spooktober, and love it. It's super creepy, super effective. Just a gut punch of a film. If you've not seen Lake Mungo, I implore you to check it out. It's a 4.5. Then on the 19th, I rewatched Terrifier 2, and I think this film slaps. I think it's so over the top with its gore. And Art the Clown is just incredible. I'm so excited for Terrifier 3. The fact that it's going to be a Christmas film, beautiful. 4 stars. And it's Terrifier 2 is just leaps and bounds above the first one. And I quite like the story in it. So then on the 20th, my Spooktober was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I watched the 4K from Second Sight. If that's the cleaned up image, I'm scared to think what the old Blu-ray looks like. But I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It does so much with so little. Incredible. 4.5. Then I also rewatched An American Werewolf in London on the 20th, and that 4K transfer looks incredible. So good. And the film itself is awesome. Some of the best practical effects I've ever seen. 4.5. Then I saw Martin Scorsese's new film, Killers of the Flower Moon, on the same day, and really enjoyed it. It is long, and we will get back to that towards the end of the month. It's 4.5 at this point on the 20th. Then on the 21st, I rewatched Black Adam for the year anniversary because me and Cam had a joke going about that. And I think this film is alright. It's fun for what it is, and it's a really good looking 4K. 3 stars. Then I rewatched The Great Escaper again with my dad. Again, really enjoy it. 3.5. Then my Spooktober for that day was Train to Busan. Oh my god. Probably the best zombie film I've ever seen. Hands down. 5 stars. Then on the 22nd, I saw Trolls Band Together and really enjoyed it. Thought it was it's probably the best out of the 3 in my opinion. 3.5. Then I rewatched La La Crocodile again, and you know what? I'm no longer going to hide it. It's a 5 for me. I know it's not the best film ever, but it's a comfort film. Then I watched Slaughterhouse, which was so hilariously over the top. I really enjoyed it. It's a 3.5. If you've not seen Slaughterhouse, check it out if you're a fan of dumb stuff. It's great. Then I rewatched Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Again, love it. 4.5. Childhood right there. Then, Slaughterhouse was my Spooktober for that day. Then on the 23rd, my Spooktober was Hellraiser. Watched the 4K of that. It's one of the best transfers I've ever seen, and that film grows on me the more I watch it. The practical effects are incredible. Really, really good film. 4. Then on the 24th, I rewatched Halloween 2, but I watched the unrated director's cut, because here in the UK, the readily available version here is just the theatrical, which is strange, but I ordered in the unrated director's cut from, I believe it was Norway, and it had English audio, and I enjoyed it a lot more. It plays a lot more with Laurie's PTSD and how she's just not holding it together. It's a lot better than the theatrical in my opinion, although I enjoyed the theatrical just because of how brutal it was. So, but this cut's a 3.5. Then on the 25th, my Spooktober was Hellbound Hellraiser 2. Not as good as the first one, but still a really good follow-up. Again, gorgeous 4K transfer, 3.5. Then on the 26th, my Spooktober for that day was Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth. Again, gorgeous transfer, probably the best out of the 4 in my opinion. Don't enjoy it as much as the first or second, but it's still a pretty good follow-up. And it gets quite dumb towards the end, so I did enjoy that, and that's a 3. Then on the 27th, my Spooktober for that day was Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, first viewing, I wasn't sure. I really was not sure. But we'll get back to that. And then on the 28th, I gave FNAF a 3 at first. Then on the 28th, I watched Hellraiser Bloodline for the first time. I'd seen the first 3 before, not this one. And it was pretty good. Apparently there's like a 2-hour cut out there which flashes it out, and I like the idea of the box maker and it's his whole bloodline. It's really, really cool. Again, another gorgeous transfer. That's a 3. Then in the evening, I rewatched Killers of the Flower Moon with my dad, and here's my verdict I've come to. The first hour, I really enjoy. The middle hour drags so much for me. And then the last hour and 20 minutes, I really enjoy. I've dropped it down to a 3.5 just because that hour dragged. I can see it going back up to a 4 at some point, but for now, it's a 3.5 for Killers of the Flower Moon. Then, on the 29th, I rewatched Five Nights at Freddy's, and I really enjoyed it for what it was. At first, I'm not actually going to spoil anything in this, but what they do with the characters and the animatronics, I wasn't sure of the first time, but I really enjoyed it the second time. I can see it growing on me again, so that's a 3.5. And then my Spooktober for that day was Megan, M3gan. And I really enjoyed that as well. I'm looking forward to the sequel for that. It's a 3.5. I've still got 2 days left in the month, so I'll be back to you probably on the evening of the 31st. So,
okay, so I'm back. It is now the 31st, the evening of the 31st, Halloween night. And yeah, so on the 30th, my Spooktober for that day was The Blair Witch Project. Haven't seen that. I actually watched that 3 years prior, on the exact same day, which is quite cool. Yeah, fantastic film. Great use of just, I don't know how to explain it, like just nothing. It gets so much with so little. It's fantastic. I can see why it caused everyone to stir shit up and believe it. It's a 4. Then today, the 31st, I finished off my Spooktober with Talk to Me, my favourite horror film of the year. Absolutely love it. The 4K is gorgeous. That's a 5. And then, out of nowhere, Callum was like, let's watch Cloverfield. So we watched Cloverfield. I love Cloverfield. It's fantastic. It's a 5. But yeah, that is what I watched in October. My favourite thing this month, probably, I'm not going to say Saw X because that was last month. I don't know. My favourite new film I watched was probably Five Nights at Freddy's, to be quite honest with you, because I really enjoyed it. My favourite rewatch, yeah, it was probably Talk to Me. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. I do hope you enjoyed this. If you did, remember to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe for more. You can support me on Patreon, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links in the description. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.